And Bill, it's great to see you. We've been checking in with you through this pandemic. How are things feeling right now?
Well, thanks for having me, and happy holidays. I think there is a significant amount of increase in available space, but there's also companies taking space. Google just announced adding 3,000 new jobs. We had Beam Suntory, which I know Joe loves that, taking about 100,000 feet, adding about 400 or 500 jobs to New York, moving from Chicago to New York. You have the Icon Center, Mount Sinai, taking 165,000 feet for a biotech center on the west side. You had our tenant, Blackstone, take 80,000 feet in our building at 345. And we're seeing increased activity in terms of leasing activity. We're seeing increasing of residential lease signing and sales. There was an article in the Times today about young first-time buyers coming back into the city. So I think that's forward-looking in terms of people coming back into the cities. There are people who are leaving. There's no question about it. And we have to make sure that we remain competitive. We don't tax our way too high and scare people away, which is in discussions right now up in Albany in terms of the New York budget. And then you have the federal discussions going on. So we're cautiously optimistic in terms of where the market is going. We're seeing people come back into the marketplace. If you ask any real estate broker, they're busier than they've ever been over the last year.
Over the last year, but that's saying something. The last year was pretty horrible, just in terms of the number of people who were vacating and getting out of here. Where does it stand versus, let's say, 2 years ago?
Well, I think we're, as I said before, we're starting to see companies start to look at space again. We've never been, in relative terms, we've been very, very busy. The building across the street at 3 Times Square from where you guys are located, we're doing a total renovation there. We're seeing activity downtown. We signed a lease at 80 Pine Street with an international company called Lactalis. The building that's right behind me, Dock 72 in Brooklyn, we're seeing activity. We're exchanging letters of intent with several different companies. So we're cautiously optimistic. And as compared to 2 years ago, it's obviously not the same. But from where we were a few months ago and when I was on the show last, we're seeing a lot of activity. And I think also the key driver is vaccinations. We're seeing, I think in New York State, we're almost at 10 million vaccinations. And you've had these other guests on talking about hospitality and restaurants. New York is at 50% in terms of indoor dining. Outdoor dining has been a great success. And as the weather starts getting nicer, you're seeing people start to go out and experience what's great about New York City. And so we're optimistic, but we, as I said before, we can't tax increase taxes too much. We have to make sure that we are competitive with the rest of the country. And we're seeing things that are, I think, in a positive sign in terms of economic growth. Hopefully, the job numbers that come out in a little bit will validate what we're already seeing in terms of companies wanting to look at new space and get people back into offices. Amazon announced that they're bringing people back next week, and they're very positive about being in the office environment and having that creativity and that interaction that goes on when you're together in the office environment.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.